What's going on, everybody? It's Ted again here with the CountdownCityGeeks.com, and I am here with the one and only Retro Ray. We got a very special interview for you. Joining us from the Peacemaker series, which we're all loving, by the way, is Judo Master himself, Na Lee. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. This season is a wild one, and we're so happy that you agreed to talk to us after last week's episode because now it feels like we've turned it up a gear, and James has flipped the entire world on its head. How excited were you for all the fans to find out the big reveal that this utopia that Chris is in is really like hell on earth.
It was really exciting watching fans slowly discover the alternate dimension. Because even the press, they've only gotten to see episodes 1 through 5. So anytime we had interviews or press
Ooh.
junkets, we were only allowed to speak on those first 5 episodes. And as you know, the reveal happens in 6. So it's
Mhm.
finally like, oh, we can, say what's going on, and what a reveal it's been, right?
You're not wrong. There were a bunch of like sleuth detective fans who were like putting these pieces together and figuring out, wait a minute, there's something going on here. And I was skeptical. I was like, well, let's that's a great idea. Let's see and let's figure out what's happening. But yeah, this has been it's a great reveal, and now like everybody's all in. We're also invested now in what happens in the story. So yeah, it's been really exciting. For season 2, Judo Master, let's go ahead and go back to the beginning of the season. He's really had this chip on the shoulder. He's really harnessing some ill will towards the Peacemaker and the rest of his crew. How either fun was it for you, or how much preparation did you put into really finding the motivations for Judo Master, wanting those emotions to really come out and come out on screen?
I think when I found out I was coming back for season 2, I was really excited because at the end of season 1, Judo Master has had run-ins with every single one of the 11th Street kids, like Peacemaker, Hardcore, Economos, Adebayo, Vigilante. So in the second season, it's nice to see that he has interactions with some of those members, and he sort of reconcile some issues that they've had in the past. So as I was reading through season 2, I was like, "Ah, this is gonna be so fun for him to come back in a expanded way." Because now
Mm,
you get a little bit more screen time with Judo Master, and
mhm.
there's of course the fights and the Cheetos, and now he gets to say a little bit more what's on his mind, going back and forth with Economos and even Flory and stuff like that.
And I was going to ask about that. So I mean, I you did a tour. There's some videos online that you're walking through the set and talking about, hey, this
Oh
person's
yeah.
doing this person's doing that, and you have somebody who has your Cheeto bag. When they told you, hey, you're going to be always eating Cheetos, what was your reaction to that?
I was anticipating it because even in the audition, the script said that Judo Master would be snacking on, chips or whatever it was. So when I was auditioning, I used salt and vinegar chips to audition with. And then the first day on set, props came over and was like, okay, he's gonna be snacking on Cheetos this whole season. And I was like, okay, cool. But they were specifically the flaming hot Cheetos. So we discovered very early on that because it was so hot, if I eat a lot of them, it's difficult for me to say the lines because it's just, overwhelming. So
Yeah.
they took normal Cheetos that they colored to make them look hot, which I appreciate very much. And then for season 2, they actually brought me in a little bit early before we shot and lined up a bunch of different Cheetos that they've done like different rubs or different coloring on. So I went through and had a little taste test of each one. Um, and some of them were really good, but I chose the blandest one I could, just
Oh,
because I know that if I were was eating this, all day, I wouldn't want to get like tired of it if it was like too salty or like too overwhelming. So I picked the most neutral one, and it's I think the best course of action.
There you have it, folks. Not all the Cheetos in season 1 were actually hot Cheetos. The magic of
Yeah.
The
Hollywood.
magic demystified.
Oh, it's hilarious. That's so funny. That was actually gonna be one of my questions is, were you a fan of hot Cheetos beforehand? I love spicy foods, but I will never get into hot Cheetos, no matter how many times somebody asks me to try them. I'm like, "No, I'm not a fan. It's not gonna
It's
happen."
it's yeah, it's painful, to eat. And um, in another interview, someone's like, "Do you think Judo Master likes eating it because it causes him pain?"
Ooh,
And I'm like,
Oh.
yeah, maybe he's a masochist in that way.
that's hilarious. You've been tell us about your background. You have a martial arts background. Like, what did you study beforehand that helped you get into help you snag this role of Judo Master and Peacemaker?
Yeah, Ray and I were chatting before this for a bit, and uh, for for the role of Judo Master, it came to me when I had been doing martial arts for about 2 years.
Mm.
I studied wushu, and then before that, a little bit of Shaolin Kung Fu.
Oh
So
wow.
it's mostly, kung fu, but with the wushu, it's a little flashier, a little bit bigger in terms of their movements and forms. So it's I think catered closer to for film and TV. So I went through that path, and then I also did a bunch of improv beforehand, because as an actor, you just try to find like any way that you can just to get your foot through the door to land your first role. So I
Sure.
went through martial arts, through like the stunt route, and then through improv, through like groundlings and UCB and stuff like that. And so Judo Master is sort of a marriage of all those things. He does all the martial arts and fighting, but he also has, he says some of the craziest things. I was just at a signing and autograph convention recently, and sometimes people would be like, "Oh, can you write a quote on this picture or this Funko or whatever?" And I'm going through the list of all the things that I say, and it's not very family friendly. Like one of
They're
them is
not.
like
No.
ding dong bitches, or like wild go suck cock, or um, are you the dumbest cunt who's ever existed, or just top five? So I'm just like writing this on a little toy.
Oh, it's awesome.
Does James come up with all of those, or has he asked you to like improvise some of those like great one-liners that you've been saying on the season?
I see a lot of the interviews, they always like pick through the improvised lines and stuff, but I do want to give James credit. What you see on screen is 99% of that is written by James.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it sounds, so in the moment and so funny, but what you see is written already there. So in the van scene of season 2, all those lines were written by James. So, like after we film what we need that's written on the scripts, James will be like, all right, like say this, or like sometimes you can improvise on the spot, but you sort of have to earn that privilege. Like some characters, like in season 1, I was um hesitant to go off script, if ever, just because, it's James Gunn and he writes so well, so you just stick to that. But then there are certain days that will lend itself more to improvise lines, and he'll tell you when he wants to improvise lines. So if you're an actor who's just starting to work with James, stick to the script, don't go crazy. And then when you have that rapport with him, and the scene lends itself to the improvisation, then you can go for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, James Gunn, I'm an old gentleman in our group. So I grew up watching all the old school movies, and James Gunn worked in Trauma Vision for a good while and worked under Lloyd Kaufman, and I feel him being under him and learning how the film industry worked, I think helped him get to where he is currently. Because Trauma Vision has its unique characterizations, how it's filmed, but the jokes are here and there. And same thing with Gunn. I love how everything that he works on, he has to have music that goes along with it. And to me, that's the best part because it's like I don't know what goes on that head of his, but for him to pick the right song for the right scene, that's got to take work in itself. But you know, him picking you for this role, you have killed it overall as the character you have been portraying. Um,
Oh, thank you.
you seem like you seem like a character you don't want to mess around with.
Yeah, and I think that's the fun thing about playing him because in real life, Nhut as a person is, like I'm pretty quiet. I keep to myself, introverted, um, and I like observe etiquette and social norms and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Judo Master, like he chews with his mouth open. He can go up to the tallest, biggest dude and like, say whatever he wants because he knows he can back that up. Like he has the skill. He can hold up, stand up to anyone. Whereas me, I'm like, let's just talk about this and try to pacify the situation.
What was your first thought on seeing the outfit for Judo Master? Especially, you have this big, it looks like some sort of silicon like helmet or cowl, and I imagine it gets extremely hot in that thing while you're shooting like long days or for, like long action scenes.
The process for casting for a superhero show, it happens a lot sooner than most productions because
Sure.
we started shooting in January, but I found out I was Judo Master in early or like mid-October
Wow.
because I my first time that I just went anywhere was to a costume fitting because they had to start making the costumes immediately because it takes so long and so involved. Like these costumes are like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when I first went into this huge studio, it's based in Los Angeles, and they did costumes for like Black Panther and Iron Man, so like all of the
Wow.
superhero stuff. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
this huge warehouse, and then they take me to see a mock-up of what Judo Master looks like, and there were a few options. Then they did all the measurements. It took about, I think, almost like an hour just to get everything, and then a few weeks or months go by, and then I have different fittings for like different portions of the costumes. And then the cow, I think they had to do a 3D scan of my whole body. So they
Wow.
have a digital scan of my body somewhere. Um, and then to try everything on for the first time, it was sort of surreal because the way that that costume is structured, like I hold my body differently. So like the chest is puffed out, the shoulders are back. Um, like he's sort of like a henchman minion. So my head is a little bit forward. It was skin tight. So I'm like, oh, I really need to work out to look good in this.
That's hilarious. Have there been any sequences, action sequences that like were really challenging? If it's anything that we haven't seen yet, don't mention it. But anything that you've done before that was like really challenging, either took too long or you got really physical in that moment. Any stories like that?
So yeah, the fight scene between John and I in the woods was really fun to do. And because we've in season one, we've fought each other maybe 3 or 4 times, and there was,
Mhm.
so much rehearsal process that this time around it was sort of like second nature. It was a lot easier. I wish we would have this interview in 2 weeks when I can tell you what is going on. Because once you see I can't say,
Do not.
say
Yeah.
anything, but, um, yeah, so there's a lot more fun coming up
Oh man,
in
can't wait.
the last few episodes, so yeah, I just won't say anything.
It's all good. James is listening somewhere right now, so we
James
don't
is
wanna.
listening, there's, like, DC snipers all around my house, so yeah.
Well,
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna give you my wish, what I would like. So I mentioned when we started recording that you and the White Rabbit have a tie to a certain character in the DC universe. Um, you're the character Judo Master's tie to Bane is not that great, but I wish that we could get Judo Master and White Rabbit to work together with Bane in the comics. The reason why I say that, of course, if guys, if you do not know, Infinite Crisis #7, Judo Master gets killed and his back gets broken in the comic. Um,
Not a
but of
fan of
course,
that comic.
but of course, White Rabbit comes out in Dark Knight. Well, she works with Bane in that series. But I would love, I mean, since that character is now canon, you are canon, I would love to see a series where you guys either team up in some form or fashion. That would be cool. That's just my wish list. But the question I was going to ask was, if DC were to approach you and say, hey, would you be interested in writing a 5-issue series on your portrayal of Judo Master? Either a secret mission that you didn't do, that you did, that's like prequel to this or something like that. Would that be something you would be interested in?
Yeah, I think that would be something really cool to explore for Judomaster, just because we don't really know much about his backstory or how he navigates this world outside of the Peacemaker universe. So I think if it was a 5-issue thing, maybe I'd like him to, like, go on a mission either by himself or with 1 or 2 other people and have it, like, very understated, like, there's a huge threat, but no one knows about, and he takes care of it, and he doesn't mention it, like, so no one
Wow.
knows that he's a hero, he just does it out of duty or honor, and he feels like this is how he morally can help save the world, and it's not, like, glamorous and glitzy. He doesn't want people to come up to him and be like, "Oh, you're a superhero, it's Judo Master." He just wants to know that he has protected this world, and the day after that, he just is there doing his normal thing again.
Wow. Okay, DC, you heard this. We need this 5-issue series next
There we
year.
go.
That would be amazing. I know you can't say anything about the next 2 episodes, and we don't want anything spoiled. I like finding stuff out as it happens, but at least, summarize in a few words, 1 to 2, 3 words about what fans can expect for the final 2 episodes of Peacemaker season 2.
I would say, um a lot of, uh, okay, I'll say the word consequential,
Mm.
um, is one word that will describe the last 2 episodes, and, um, shocking, I'm sure would be a good word. But yeah, I think I'm so excited for fans to watch it just because I think we did such a good job on the last 2 episodes, just, all the cast, all the crew, James, everyone, creative involved with it. And even with like the way that it's been marketed and, all the interviews that we've done, this season has been such a good experience for me as one of the actors on the other side and watching fans and you guys react and receive it so well is just very, very heartwarming for us.
Wow.
Well said. We want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with us. We are so excited for the final 2 episodes of this season. I feel like we've just been set up, for like the first half of the season, James is just keeping us like nice and warm and like, coddling us, and then just like completely pulls the rug out. And now we're in just utter chaos, and I love it. So thanks again for taking the time to speak with us. Congrats on the season so far. We cannot wait to see what James and the rest of you guys have in store for us. And I know Ray's always talking about this. You are in the DC universe now. So Judo Master can show up here, there, everywhere, little screen, big screen. And we're just excited to see where you end up, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, and great chatting with you guys. Thanks for having me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.